You spend 2 hours with an AI. You generate a perfect essay. You hit submit and move on with your night. 3 days later, your phone buzzes. It's an email from the Academic Integrity Office. In the 2023 to 2024 academic year, nearly 7,000 university students in the UK alone were officially caught using AI to complete their assignments. That's triple the number from the year before. But here's the stat that should actually stop you. Research from ETS and the Ad Council found that 95% of students who use AI on graded work are never identified at all. So what exactly is going on here? And more importantly, are you on the right side of this? Here's what no one is telling students honestly. AI can make you genuinely smarter, or it can quietly hollow out the knowledge you're supposed to be building while your grades stay exactly the same. Sometimes they even go up. In 2026, 92% of college students are already using generative AI. That number comes from the Higher Education Policy Institute. You are not ahead of a trend. You are inside one. The question is no longer whether to use it. The question is whether the way you're using it is actually making you better, or just making your assignments look better. The difference is bigger than you think. Let's look at what's actually happening beneath the grades. A 2024 Frontiers in Education study surveyed thousands of students. 46.9% admitted to using large language models in their coursework. 39% used AI specifically to answer assessments. And 7%, 1 in 14 students, used AI to write entire papers from scratch. Now here's what makes that number disturbing. In the same study, nearly 80% of those students said using AI on graded work was somewhat or definitely wrong. They knew. They did it anyway. But the real damage isn't academic. It's hidden. And it shows up later. An A in a class you didn't understand isn't just a moral problem. It's a practical one. That knowledge shows up later. In a job interview. In a graduate program. On the first day of a career, when someone asks you to actually do the thing your degree says you can do. And there's a number that captures exactly this. A 2024 study found that students using AI in targeted intentional ways as learning tools rather than shortcuts saw their GPA go up and their study hours go down simultaneously. The same technology, radically different outcomes. Everything depends on how you're using it. This is the gap that's quietly splitting students into two groups right now. One group is building real skills, faster than any previous generation ever could. The other group is collecting credentials on top of nothing. Which group you're in has nothing to do with how smart you are. Meanwhile, universities are not standing still. The two biggest weapons in their detection arsenal right now are Turnitin and GPT-0. Turnitin has been collecting student papers since the late 1990s. They now have over 900 million archived submissions, the largest database of real student writing that exists. Their AI detector breaks text into overlapping segments and scores each sentence on a scale from 0 to 1. 0 means human. 1 means AI. Their claimed accuracy is 98%. Independent testing puts the real-world number closer to 90 to 95% on unedited AI output. GPT-0 runs a different system. It measures something called perplexity and burstiness, how surprising and variable the text is, sentence by sentence. Human writing naturally jumps around. AI writing tends to be suspiciously smooth. In GPT-0's own 2026 benchmarks, they reported 99.39% overall accuracy. Impressive. So why are universities abandoning these tools? At least 12 elite institutions have disabled Turnitin's AI detection entirely, including Vanderbilt, Yale, Johns Hopkins, and Northwestern. UT Austin banned purchasing AI detection tools altogether. Penn State called them unreliable. UCLA, UC San Diego, and Cal State LA all deactivated the features in 2024 to 2025. The reason is brutal. A Stanford study found that 7 major AI detectors flagged 61% of non-native English student essays as AI written. A student from South Korea, Brazil, or Turkey writing in their second language is roughly 12 times more likely to be falsely accused than a native English speaker. The detector cannot tell the difference between AI-generated text and writing that simply sounds careful, structured, and formal. So the tools built to catch AI are punishing the students who were never using it. The arms race is real, and right now, nobody is winning it cleanly. But let's set the detection question aside, because there's a more important one. What happens to your actual knowledge when AI writes your work? There's a concept in cognitive science called retrieval practice. Every time you pull information from memory, struggle with a question, wrestle with an argument, or try to explain something you half understand, you strengthen the neural pathways that hold that knowledge. That struggle is not just discomfort. It is the mechanism of learning. When AI removes the struggle, it removes the learning. You end up with the grade. You do not end up with what the grade is supposed to represent. A 2025 randomized controlled trial at Harvard found that AI tutoring built on active learning principles produced learning gains with effect sizes of 0.7, 3 to 1.3 standard deviations over traditional classroom instruction. For context, the average effect size of a human private tutor is around 0.4. AI beat that by a factor of 3. But notice what that study measured. AI tutoring, not AI writing. The gains came from students being quizzed, challenged, corrected, not from AI producing content they then submitted. Think of it like a gym. A personal trainer can design a workout that transforms your body in months, but the trainer cannot do the reps for you. If someone else does all the reps, only they get stronger. When AI writes your essay, only the AI is practicing writing. You are just watching. So, what does the right side of this actually look like? Here are the tools that the best performing students are using in 2026, and more importantly, how they're using them. ChatGPT is the most versatile starting point, but students using it well are not asking it to write their essays. They are using it as a quiz partner. Try this exact prompt. I'm studying cell division for biology. Don't give me answers. Ask me questions and tell me what I get wrong. ChatGPT's 2026 study mode was built for exactly this. It guides you toward answers instead of handing them over. Perplexity. AI. Every response includes inline citations linking back to real sources. For research papers and literature reviews, this alone can cut sourcing time by half. Unlike ChatGPT, it will not invent references. Each claim is traceable. For building a bibliography, nothing else comes close. Google NotebookLM is completely free, with no usage caps. Upload your lecture slides, textbook chapters, and your own handwritten notes. NotebookLM answers questions only from those materials. It cannot hallucinate something that is not in your uploaded files. It can also generate a podcast-style audio overview you can listen to while commuting. This one is genuinely underused. Wolfram Alpha is essential for STEM students. It does not just give you answers, it shows you the working, step by step. Calculus, chemistry, statistics, physics. It never hallucinates a formula, which is more than can be said for most AI tools. Anki plus AI card generators. Spaced repetition is one of the most research-backed learning methods in existence. Tools like Anki Pilot can now turn a lecture PDF into a full flashcard deck in minutes. Research from the NIH confirms that spaced practice can double recall efficiency compared to cramming the night before. Kanmago is Khan Academy's AI tutor that refuses to give you the answer. It asks guiding questions until you find the answer yourself. For math and science, it is as close to a private tutor as most students will ever get. And it is free. 6 tools. And every single one of them has one thing in common that most students do not notice until someone points it out directly. Before you use any AI tool on any piece of academic work, there is one question worth 3 seconds of your time. Am I producing the output, or is the AI? That's the entire framework. Everything else follows from it. Ask ChatGPT to explain the French Revolution. Then write your own analysis. You learned something. Ask ChatGPT to write your analysis of the French Revolution, and you produced nothing. You borrowed a grade. The AI practiced writing. You watched. Here's what it looks like in practice. For exam prep, upload your notes to NotebookLM. Get 20 practice questions. Answer them yourself, without looking. Then ask ChatGPT to explain every concept you got wrong. Retest 48 hours later. That cycle, active recall, AI feedback, spaced repetition, is what Harvard's 2025 research measured when they found those 3 times the learning gains. For essays, use Perplexity to find your sources. Build your own argument, then paste your draft into Claude or ChatGPT and ask it to find the weakest part of your reasoning. Revise it yourself. The AI is your editor. You are the author. For dissertation work, use Consensus. It searches only peer-reviewed academic papers and synthesizes findings across studies. Use it to find gaps in your literature review, never to fill them for you. The active version always feels harder. That is how you know it is working. Here's what none of the statistics capture. There's a generation of students right now getting higher grades than any generation before them, while potentially learning less than any generation before them. The gap between what a diploma says and what the person holding it actually knows is widening, quietly, invisibly. And it isn't built from bad intentions. It's built from rational choices inside a system that rewards the output and rarely checks what's underneath it. But the system is changing. Oral exams are returning to universities across the UK, Australia, and Germany. In-person assessments are expanding. Professors are increasingly assigning tasks that require documented process. Show your thinking, not just your conclusion. The EU AI Act classifies AI use in educational assessments as high risk starting August 2026, placing new legal obligations on institutions. The window where AI-generated work slides through unnoticed is closing. When it closes, the students who used AI to actually learn will have everything they built. The students who used it to skip the building will have the certificate and a very uncomfortable gap underneath it. The students who are winning right now aren't working harder than everyone else. They are not even necessarily smarter. They just figured out one thing earlier. AI is the most powerful study partner in history, but only if you are the one doing the studying. Use it to understand, to test yourself, to find your weak spots before the exam does, not to replace the work, to make the work count more. Stanford and MIT research both confirm it. Students who use AI as a learning aid score measurably higher than those who do not, and measurably higher than those who outsource their thinking to it entirely. Start with one tool, 2 weeks, see what builds.